Hello, hello learners. In this lecture, we will see how the placing of a concrete will happen. So, the process of depositing the concrete in its required position is called as placement of concrete. It is very essential to place concrete properly and carefully in order to obtain a good quality of surface. Areas which will be in contact with the concrete must be prepared carefully before placing the concrete. The quality of the concrete depends on the method of placing it during the concreting. If it is not placed properly, again that will result in the segregation. So this was all about the placing of a concrete, which you already understood. Right? Once you do the transportation of concrete, ultimately the main intention of transporting the concrete is to place the concrete, right? And this is how you have to place the concrete. That's it. So coming to the precautions, right? What all precautions you need to take while pouring the concrete, or let us say while placing the concrete? The concrete should not be thrown from a height of more than 1 to 1.5 meter to prevent the segregation, which we already seen. We should not do this, right? We already understood this, but since this is a part of the product, concrete, give me a minute. Since it's a part of that, we need to understand. That's it. So again, we know that the segregation will happen if it is height is more than 1.5 meter. So we should not do that. The right, even so the same thing as I explained, right? You should not do the concreting from here. Instead, make a small opening from here. From here you place the concrete, close that opening, and then again from here you can do the concreting. That is in two lift. Yeah, this is the best way to do the concreting. The better way is to do the casting in two lift. Today you do it here, and tomorrow you raise it and do it again. This is also another way of, you can see it here, no? See, up to here they have done. Then again they have raised the formwork, I mean the shuttering. Again they have done the concreting. Look here also they are doing the concreting, right? And this guy is standing here and they are pouring the concrete, and also they are making use of a vibrator. Yeah. Now coming to this, the other theory part, the concrete should be deposited in horizontal layers of uniform thickness, not exceeding 45 centimeter for mass concreting and 30 centimeter for the reinforced concrete. So what do you mean by this? So the thing is that whenever you do the placing of a concrete, let us say mass concreting and all means, let us say you're constructing an underground tank and all, right? And also the dam construction, or maybe a retaining wall. So these are the wall what we have. So here when we place the concrete, so let us say the height is somewhere close to, let us say some 600 mm, 600 mm this height, right? So in that case, what you have to do, you have to pour the concrete up to a certain level. Let us say up to this. hmm, Let us say this is something 200 or 300 mm, 200 or 300 mm. So once you place a concrete, you try to insert the poker needle, that is a vibrator, and do the vibration of this, so that what will happen, if there is voids and all, everything will be cleared. Then again you pour the concrete up to another 200 mm. Right, once you're done it so this is called as pouring in layers. And especially when you do the retaining wall construction, underground tank and all, this is a procedure what we follow. It's not that we'll bring the concrete and pour it at once. Again we cannot do like that. Again 200, again use the vibrator, then again 200. In this way we can do the concreting. Same as here also. Here also, let us say the height is somewhere close to, let us say 1.5 meter, or let us say 2 meter. But again also here put it in layer, let us say up to 300 mm. You're pouring the concrete, use the vibrator. Then another 300 mm, pour the concrete, use the vibrator, pour the concrete and use the vibrator. So in this way, if you do, there won't be segregation, and the placing of a concrete will happen properly. So this is called as placing in layers, and this is what you mean by the first point here. Right, this is in horizontal layers or uniform thickness not exceeding 45, but usually 300, usually 300 mm or 30 centimeter is what we can try to. No person shall be allowed to walk on a freshly laid concrete, that usually we don't allow. The third is the old surface should be made rough, cleaned and cement grouted, placing any new layer of the concrete. Actually what happens, whenever we pour the concrete in two layers, or let us say we want to do the casting of this column, and let us say today you're done only up to here. Up to here you have filled the concreting, I mean you're done the concreting, right? And the remaining portion from here you're going to do it tomorrow. So tomorrow when you're going to pour the concrete, so tomorrow's concrete will be a new concrete, that is a fresh concrete. And the concrete here will be already set, because it has one day has passed, right? So this becomes my old surface. So in order to have a bond, in order to have a good bond between the new concrete and the old concrete, what you can do is you can try to make the top surface a bit rough, rough in the sense, you can try with the help of that shovel what you have, no, the small yeah, this is that shovel what you get, right? Yeah, so try to make a small what you call impression here, a small hole or a kind of impression, and make it, try to make it rough, that's it. So that the new concrete when it comes, since the surface is rough, it will have good friction. As a result of that, there will be a good bonding between them. This is what usually what we try to do, right? Yeah, the alignment of the reinforcement and formwork should not be disturbed in any case when the concrete is placed in the RCC members. This also we know. Whenever we try to pour the concrete, especially this comes in terms of foundation. In the foundation, when we pour the concrete and all, we'll be having a, let me give you an idea. Let us say this is the foundation what I have. And when I do the foundation, we'll be having the column reinforcement along with that, right? If you have seen the concreting work, but we'll do the concreting up to this level. So but the reinforcement of the column will be here. So during the concreting, when you start to make use of the needle vibrator and all, there are chances that the column reinforcement may try to vibrate. I mean, they may try to tilt here and there. So as a result of that, what will happen, this reinforcement will get disturbed. So that is why whenever we pour the concrete, we should make sure that these things are not happening. Whatever reinforcement we have, what we try to do is we try to tie it from both the side with help of a rod. So we'll try to tie it. This reinforcement will not allow the reinforcement to move here and there. So in this way, we try to uh, with the help of the two poles, we try to keep it in such a way so that there is no movement of this reinforcement, right? So this is what we try to do. Next is that the internal surface of the formwork should be oiled in order to prevent the concrete from the sticking to the sides. We have seen that whenever we do the concreting, even while doing the cube testing also, we were applying the oil to the surface of the cube and also to the formwork. So that by applying the oil, what is going to happen? Next day when you try to do the deshuttering means removing the formwork is called as deshuttering. So as a result of the oil, there won't be a good bond between the concrete and the plywood, I mean the formwork. As a result of that, you can try to take it out easily. So that is why the oil has to be applied, right? Yeah. The placing of concrete should start widthwise in reinforced cement concrete slabs. So usually what happens, let us say I'll draw a slab here. Let us say this is a slab for me, huh? So whenever I place the concrete along the width, we have to start that this is a width for me, right? This part is width for me. So we'll start the concreting in this way. I'll pour the concrete here, 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 here. This part I'll finish. Then again I'll pour it here. This part I'm going to finish. Right. Once these things are done, again I'll start to pour the concrete here. Again this part I'll finish. I'll pour the concrete, do the proper vibration and all. Then again from here I'll move here in this way. So as a result of that, in this way we are going along the width. So that is what it is written. The placing of concrete should start with the width. Along the width it has to start. Yeah. So this we already seen. Yeah. Next what we have. Yeah. Now coming to the compaction, we'll try to see what is compaction and all in the next lecture. So we'll see you back in the next lecture.